power.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I am angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya, which America?
Accident mark our place. Some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Oftentimes when we see celebrities either on social media, television, or in person, we assume they have it all together, but we forget that they are also human.
Well, here are some of the low points of some of your favorite celebrities.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Dice Ills, aka Mr. Miyagi. And we're just going to give a few words to every up-and-coming artist or every dream chaser out there trying to be successful. I started off with just a dream and an undying passion to become Dice. Back in the day, a lot of people told me it wouldn't happen. A lot of people told me my dreams were too big. But one thing that I never stopped doing is I never stopped believing, and I never stopped having passion. And that's what you need to do as well. And when you ever hit success, never forget where you're coming from, because that's the only way that you can stay grounded. So believe in yourself, stay prayerful, and be passionate. One love. Bless.
Truth is, I've always wanted to be an actor in a terrain where people thought, oh, you may not fit in, this may not be the thing for you. I've always been desirous of being an actor, and one of my biggest people mentors, or who I look up to, or the character I want to play, is even playing James Bond sometimes. But it's been a long journey for me. I didn't get here. Last year, 2019, I won Best Actor 2019 for Maya Awards, and I didn't get there all in one day. I've done a lot of things. I've worked in the bank. I worked in the bank for 9 years. I've done real estate. I've sold cars. I've sold lands. I've gone through the highs and lows. And initially, when I told people that I was leaving, I've been doing acting all my life. But when I told people I was going to leave and go full stream and full line into acting, people told me, don't go for this. I don't think that's what you should do. Maybe this is not for you. And it was a tough call to make. It was a tough decision to make, but I eventually decided that I was going to go for it. And I went from audition to audition to audition to audition to audition to audition till I got my first major job, and that led to my second, third, fourth, fifth. And I decided to go and upskill myself and go to film school, in the US. And I came back and I got a fantastic opening, a cinema movie where I played leading man with Omotola Jolade called The Tribunal. So it's been a very, very long journey. But one thing I can say is that whatever path you choose in life, as long as your heart is there, stick with it.
18 years down the lane, I'm still doing my thing as a stand-up comedian and also a master of ceremony. I've been through the vicissitudes of life. It was not like this before. I remember those years when I was still in Warri, when I would go from show to show, looking for a platform to express myself. Thank God for helps around me, but it wasn't easy. Because I had to convince people that, oh, hey, try me out, I'm funny and all that. I had to trek many times. Even when I moved to Lagos, oh God, I trekked all kinds of distance just to attend shows, just to maximize the opportunities I had. It wasn't funny. I had to squat with squatters. I lived with people that were living with people. It was that bad, but hey, all our stories now. I'm here, and I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. As long as you believe you can do it, yeah, in spite of the pitfalls, of the shortcomings, still move on. Stand up, dust yourself off the feet, off the ground, and move on, all right? There are more to conquer than you have conquered.
There was once upon a time in my life when I was doing this MC work and all these things, hosting gigs, and I did an event. I won't say the name of the organization, But you know, when they say, oh, we'll give you honorarium, they're like, yeah, okay, great. And it's not a small organization. And when they finished, I got 25K. So I used the money with the love of God, fueled the car, and then kept the change to buy granules, sauce, and got the egg on the road. When it's your time, it's your time. Don't rush it, don't force it. What's yours is yours. What's meant to be yours will be yours. Nobody can take it away from you because you are you in yourself. Know your creator. And that way, you know that your creator did not create a joke. So therefore, just believe in yourself and your time will come. I love you guys. Thank you.
When I was younger, I had just lost my father. And it was at the time when, you know, we had that television that you open and close like cupboard. Okay, I know that a very high number of people may not understand this. And I came back. Our TV was not there, but our neighbor had bought a new kind of TV. It was colored, and all the kids in the neighborhood were sitting on the floor watching this TV. And then I came back from lesson, saw everyone sitting down there. It looked a bit different from ours, and the pictures looked finer because it was colored. And I stood by the curtain, and this lady just pulled the curtains together and shut me out. I felt bad. But I was also a big-mouthed young child. So I went to her and I said, because of me, you pulled the curtains together, right? The next time you look at that your TV, you will see me there. It was a joke. I mean, like, okay, it wasn't a joke, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. But I just wanted to tell her that she had no right to shut me out. And I went to school and I got this, the principal came in and said, Kami Shekie is looking for you. You're going to open up ROS TV. And guess what? When she put on her TV at 4 p.m., 2 months after, I was a continuity announcer who opened up that station. So don't be afraid and don't worry about how anyone looks at you right now. Worry more about how you see you. Worry more about what you intend to do with you. Worry more about how convinced you are about anything that you want to do. It doesn't matter. People can close their windows, close their doors, tell you to get out, tell you to sit down, tell you to go to bed. It's okay. They're not God. He has a final say. But guess what? You have the final work. Because if you don't work and work towards it, God is just going to stand there waiting. It is what you give to him that he will enhance. I hope this does somebody some good. We're all stars, I tell you. When you look up, you see a lot of them. I'm sure you're up there and shining, okay? So please, put some glow to your own star. Love ya!
It is Friday, finally. Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Hope you are doing great, and I am sure you're as excited as I am for the weekend. I feel like this week stretched just a tad bit too much, but I hope you guys had a good weekend. I mean, a good week, and it was fruitful, and everything you wanted to achieve, you did. If not, we have another chance for next week. This is an entertainment show that analyzes everything popping, and you know, it's Friday, we come with the vibes and all that. To do that with me is none other than my delectable team, my spicy team, the people that don't fear to tell you their minds, none other than Ifeolu Oshike and Eniola Baby.
Hello.
It's good.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Well, how are you? Are you sure? How are you?
I'm trying. I really can. In case you can't hear me, just try and understand.
Yeah, we are dealing with some dealing.
A mouthful.
Literally. Yeah. But I hope you get better anyway. And this weekend, so you have time to go check it out, see what's going on with that. I would say that Ife has a sweet mouth, so his teeth is basically suffering from that. Cook every day. What are you expecting? For you, how was your day? Are you looking forward to the weekend?
Yes, definitely.
Finally.
Like I've been waiting for Friday since Monday, like doing countdown in my head mentally.
So that what will happen?
Not to the trust, to just sleep in at all. But the fact that I get to sleep in is enough.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you.
I don't need to wake up by 6 a.m.
I'm telling you. I don't
Wake up
know.
by 6 a.m.?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's late.
That's late. Wow.
What time do you wake up?
5 a.m.
It's not as if you wake up 3 a.m.
It's 5.
You're made
to wake up by 1.
You know what I'll do with an hour's sleep?
Okay, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment. There's another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Hello and welcome back to Tea Time. So we're just about to start. You haven't missed anything, I promise. The first thing on the list, even though we have quite a lot in store for you this beautiful Friday, rapper Lil Wayne has thanked Donald Trump for pardoning him during his final hours as president. Wayne, whose real name is Dwayne Michael Carter, very nice name, admitted a weapons charge in December and was due to be sentenced later this month. The hip-hop star, a convicted felon, was facing up to 10 years in jail before Trump intervened. Wayne thanked the former president for granting him a pardon. And I quote, he tweeted, "I want to thank former President Trump now for recognizing that I have so much more to give to my family, my art, and my community." Trump also commuted the sentence of rapper Kodak Black, who, like Wayne, was convicted for a weapons charge in Florida. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It's a huge deal because if there's any other way to give a second chance, I feel like that's it. When you see your consequence facing you like this, and then somebody else comes and takes it. But what do you guys think?
Why do I feel like I'm going against what you just said right now? Okay, I just want to start from the beginning. When when Wayne publicly declared his endorsement for Donald Trump, we actually saw different kind of reactions. That some people were like, "You're a betrayal." That they were kind of disappointed in him for supporting ex-president Donald Trump. So in my opinion, I feel like Lil Wayne did it intentionally. Like, okay, he actually supported Donald Trump. Yes, intentionally. Wait, this is my opinion. Okay, because
of course.
Anywho, this is my opinion because I just feel the way they pardoned Lil Wayne is kind of questionable. Because when I saw it, I went online and did further investigation.
Sherlock Holmes.
Today is Friday, no problem, that vibe. I did further investigation and I found out like before you can get a presidential pardon, you have to have shown responsibility over your actions and actually showed good behavior for a particular period of time. And it takes about 5 years before a president actually thinks about granting you a pardon. So my question is it not kind of weird that it didn't even take up to that long before he was granted a pardon? I just find it suspicious to me.
What about Kodak Black?
Kodak Black, both of them actually. That's what I was
He didn't support Donald Trump.
Okay. True.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so I mean, if I'm going to chip into, do you want to go?
I think basically it wasn't their call. It's not by endorsing Donald Trump. Yeah, it could be an added advantage, of course. It is an added advantage, but it's not by that. There are people, because it thanked somebody else, I think Cohen or something. It thanked somebody else at the end for putting in the work and getting things done. So people send out these grants, you know, they beg the president, they meet with him and tell him that, okay, this guy is going to face up to 10 years. And there are certain reasons why a president will probably consider not sending him to jail, considering the fact that he's still very young. He has a lot of what's it called now, influence on the youths out there and people, on music lovers being Lil Wayne. You know, stuff like, if he's gone for 10 years, the music is probably going to die with him. He's been to jail as well. It's not a first-time offender. So, you see, I see all of that coming into play in him getting pardoned. But what excited me the most was Aris, the death row guy who was also pardoned. At least he's been in jail for 32 years until now. So, yeah, so I think that one is the commendable one. The fact that, yes, if you know Aris, you know that, yes, he's one of the guys who started the hip-hop music. Tupac was signed to him, Snoop Dogg was signed to him, and yeah, so... Yeah, it's been amazing. I just like the fact that he's out free.
But
and
fine.
that's huge.
Okay, fine. He has a lot to offer to the generation, but Mike, you still not getting me close
I
to
get
that.
where you're
Yes,
coming
it
from.
takes
I'm
5
just saying
years.
I just want to ignore it.
It does. So it does take 5 years, and there are like
Levels
procedures
to
to
about
that
it.
thing. But I think Trump had a lot of let's say
Backlog.
freebies to give before he
Leaving,
left the Oval Office, right? And he could do whatever, which is the idea of it. Like it isn't that. It was time for him to give pardon to people who deserved it. Nah, it was more like, I have free
Presidential
pardons
pardon,
to give out, and I have a few days left. Who am I going to give it to? So that list is filled with people that deserve it and people that don't deserve it. Because yes, you are absolutely right that it is based on Trump's bias, which is not always a bad thing. So Trump and Lil Wayne did have a personal relationship. So I don't think anyone can dispute the fact from your point that says that obviously was an influence in reason why he made it to that list to begin with. But Trump didn't do anything bad. I think the nature of the whole pardon thing was to give it to whoever you like because it's going to just waste away. So yeah, he didn't have the 5 years, and maybe he didn't even qualify for it because he wasn't even convicted yet, to be honest. Exactly, but he can do whatever. I mean, he even with his children, I think one of his children have an issue or something that he's going to be facing the consequences for it soon, and they were expecting that Trump would give a pardon to he didn't. He didn't give a pardon to his child. So we don't know what the criteria were for him, for Trump, while he was picking those people, but it was solely based on Trump. It wasn't necessarily like a procedure or like a guideline or whatever. So yes, it's cool. I actually like that you even saw that it was flawed. It was a flawed system, but they're not using that system. They're just using Trump. Okay. I think we're going to move on really quickly. All I had to even say was, I don't know why they didn't give Bobby Shmurda.
Right.
Me, I was waiting for Bobby Shmurda to come out, but
That's true.
yeah, like I was waiting for. I was really kind of
Maybe
sad
some people
that
are not working in the right
Nah,
direction.
Murder was a big is a big thing, and he's probably on best behavior. It's probably hard for them to convict him. But anyway, I wish him luck wherever he is. I know where he is, but where he is. The reality TV star says she is not open to dating short men, and this is former housemate of Nigeria's most popular reality TV show, Big Brother Naija. And her name is Alex. She has revealed that she would resort to artificial insemination if she doesn't find love. The reality TV star, who shared a video of a conversation she had with a friend on Snapchat, disclosed that she can't marry a short man. The last time I was in a relationship, this is Alex now, was in 2018. The conversation then goes further with the friend appealing to Alex to give love a chance. And then she replied and said, but he has to be tall. Love will find me, and I'm not even looking for it. Let me just go and do artificial insemination and have my children and just know that I did not marry. Full stop. She added, just to add also that she is a multi-talented personality that came in third the season where she was on Big Brother Naija. She has since gone into dabbling in different things, including modeling, acting, and content creation. She was also very prominent with the whole NSARS movement thing. So that's Alex. What do you guys think?
I think this is kind of like another section to what we talked about yesterday about people being having your own choice, your own type. So to her right now, she's telling us that she's not going to be pressured by society and what people want her to do. Like, okay, if she does not find the right person to her own spec, she won't be pressurized to get into marriage and be unhappy inside. So I totally support her, and if that word makes her happy, she should just do what she feels like.
All right, so for me personally, I feel like apart from the fact that you're open to your options, your choices, you know, it's okay to be picky. I'm also glad that the world is beginning to be open to all the means of giving birth, all the forms, all the, you know, so we have artificial insemination, you can do surrogacy, you know, there are other options for you now for childbirth. So don't think marriage is the only option you've got to have a child. So I like the fact that in Nigeria we're beginning to think that way, and we're beginning to, embrace it. And so that's the way to go.
I mean, I would agree that option is liberating, especially for women. But if I was going to personalize it, I would never, ever do that. Ever.
Because you don't know whether what they're about to insert now is from a short man.
No, you can't. No.
I'm just messing around.
But usually with sperm banks, you have the details of the person's eye color, genes, health issues, shape, size, hair texture, and all of that. But the reason why I wouldn't do it is because
I can put down 7 feet now, and I'm just 5'4".
Maybe they can see you. I don't like the idea. I mean, I absolutely agree with her that she can do whatever that she wants to do, and I like that she wouldn't settle, and she knows exactly what she wants, and she clearly wants children. I mean, for you to even want to go as far as doing that, she clearly wants children. I think my issue, the reason why I disagree is because I don't want children that much. Okay. If there is love, I like children from love, like we're in love and then we have a baby, a love child. That's the only reason why I would see myself wanting children. Okay. So then to bring a child into the world where I don't even have that support from the man, and I can give that child the best kind of family, it's a no-go area for me at all. Like, I don't really like that idea. And I think this is also me being a bit, I guess a bit too forward with my beliefs that I'm clamping on hers. But I haven't, if anything, I actually don't even support that people would want to bring children in with insemination when there isn't a perfect home for that person. Because already there's a disconnection in regards to like the father, right? Like the original father and all of that. You don't know what the child's going to look like and what the temperaments are. And let's not pretend like as if there isn't a bonding aspect that will be taken away from that child because she won't be able to, or he will not be able to bond with the sperm giver, if that makes sense. So then already, you see that's also like, okay, whatever, well, we can love the child or whatever, but then you don't even have a man figure there to then give that child a loving home. Like, I feel like you should just adopt a child that's already there, screaming in the world for love and affection that's filled up in the homes and stuff, but that's just my opinion.
Of course.
Nice one. Let's go on a quick music break because today is Friday. I'm not going to be talking your ears out. Enjoy. Please get your dancing shoes. Have fun. Listen up and enjoy this. We'll be right back.
láti padà sílé mi. Cause mama mi wọ́n wà nílé mi. I no want me person tell me say I too lazy. Olúwa bọ̀nà ọ̀flẹ̀lẹ̀ ni. As I dey hustle like I dey Bayo Okun lazy. No go talk say me I too lazy. Anywhere I go mo láti padà sílé mi. Cause mama mi wọ́n wà nílé mi.
Funkilla.
I go show you wonder what it wonderful. You no go believe wetin wan happen. No disturb us when the gbedu wan catch you. Like you dey sleep, but this one pass you. Hunger. At the gbedu don start wonder. From your feet all over wonder. With somebody that I wonder. Cause I'm feeling it in my soul. Something is changing. Right in your face. Something they scratch me. Don't be like jazz. Bye, bye, bye. Anywhere I go, mo láti padà sílé mi. Cause mama mi wọ́n wà nílé mi. I no want me person tell me say too lazy. Olúwa bọ̀nà ọ̀flẹ̀lẹ̀ ni. As I dey hustle like I dey Bayo Okun lazy. No go talk say me I too lazy. Anywhere I go, mo láti padà sílé mi. Cause mama wọ́n wà nílé mi. I go show you wonder what it wonderful. You no go believe wetin wan happen. No disturb us when the gbedu wan catch you. Like you dey sleep, but this one pass you. Hunger. At the gbedu don start wonder. From your feet all over wonder. With somebody that I wonder. Cause I'm feeling it in my soul. Something is changing. Right in your face. Something they scratch me. Don't be like jazz. Bye, bye, bye.
Kò gbẹ́rẹ́gbẹ́ lọ́mọ yẹn gan. Kò gbẹ́rẹ́gbẹ́ lọ́mọ yẹn gan. Kò gbẹ́rẹ́gbẹ́ lọ́mọ yẹn gan. I am feeling you. I don't want pretend. I don't want pretend for you. I don't want depend. I don't want depend on your love. I don't want pretend. I don't want pretend for you. I don't want depend. I don't want depend on your love. Why your body do me tempo.
Check it, baby. Mud. Oh, baby, I'm on my way. Give me back to back. Mix it up, yeah, that formula. The loving what you give me, making no decline. And every time I grind, now you lay in my mind, yo. Oh, you my ride or die. And anybody we won't put us on the die. I do anything, I go run 10,000 miles. And every time I grind, now you lay in my mind, yo. Oh, yeah, give me love, make I rock your body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Make I give you love, make you rock my body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jack of all. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jack of all. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Oh, baby, make I tell you what you mean to me. There's never gonna be any loving for me, baby. Make I give you love, make you rock my body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine down for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jack of all. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jack of all. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco.
Welcome back. This is Still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. I hope you did enjoy that music break and you did as told and you were dancing because today's supposed to be lit, right? Anyway, moving on, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, which are the new sitting presidents of the United States of America, in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know about that. Anyway, the inauguration ceremony and evening celebration included musical acts like Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez, Katy Perry, and John Legend. But could you imagine if Cardi B were there too? Late last night, the rapper joked that I'm guessing she joked. I think she wasn't serious. But the rapper joked that she had planned to attend the swearing-in ceremony and perform her and Megan Thee Stallion's X-rated collab, WAP. No less. But alas, she had a scheduling conflict. And then this is her tweet. I was supposed to perform WAP at the inauguration today, but I had a dentist appointment. Maybe next time, she tweeted. Obviously, that gathered a lot of reaction. Now, wouldn't that have been a historical moment? Because despite being absent from the inauguration, Cardi B, who has been vocal about politics, voting, and racial injustice, especially during the elections, especially during the election cycle, had already had a one-on-one time with President Biden. Last summer, she interviewed the then candidate who had plans for the country and brought his attention to pressing issues like health, care, and education. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think about that.
Like you said, it's going to be historical.
It is going to be historical.
I can imagine the beats. You remember the at the beginning? Nah.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah,
Do you think it would work?
I don't really care about the beats. I just care about the message of the song. Now, that's a very historical day.
Would it work on the
inauguration? I was going to get there. That wasn't to work.
Yeah,
you want yes or no?
Yes, I want yes or no.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
Okay, let's show you what the actual inauguration day performances looked like. Please take a look.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. In the norms and notions of what just is, isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is hours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one.
Hello. Okay. Well, that was that. That's not what I asked for, Sha. I asked for performances, but that in itself was a grand, record-breaking speech by poet, spoken words by Amanda Gorman. She's making history like never before, and I think that kind of precedence is amazing. But what did you guys think? Some people didn't like her spoken words. I don't know if you saw more of that. Did you like it?
I liked it. I think it was powerful, especially for black women this time and age. So yes, it is a very powerful speech, spoken word.
Yeah, I mean, it was even more so about like the summary of the last 4 years for them. So that was a lot more interesting. I think it wasn't just. I mean, she did talk about how like she wanted to be president and now she's reciting for one. I guess that's powerful for a black woman that there isn't that much she can achieve anymore. But either ways, it was really phenomenal. I liked Lady Gaga's performance. Even though people dragged her, even people dragged her for that. I wish that's what we were going to show. And then even J-Lo's performance, speaking in Spanish. I mean, the whole of Trump's inauguration. Exactly. Trump's inauguration was about, Trump's presidency rather was about really clamping down on the Hispanics and the Mexicans and all of that. So that was really nice. But let's go on a quick break. We have a guest in store, and I want to have more than enough time to have a chat. So we'll be right back.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity. from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the result of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will feel the pulse of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let everybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment. And another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Hello, welcome back. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Aka Anani is a Nigerian-born actor, TV host, content creator, and YouTuber. Since 2014, Aka is a talent that has been cast in several series, TV films, web series, feature films, with aspirations on becoming a global brand. If I do say so myself, I think he's already kind of become one. Aka is regarded as one of the most talented and natural media personalities in Nigeria, who has had the opportunity to interview so many African music and film celebrities, while also being a guest on top TV and radio shows, including Tea Time, for example. With his vlog, Aka Bands, he has been recognized as one of the fastest growing Nigerian YouTube channels and has an astounding engagement rate, which is also why we're bringing him today to have a conversation with us in regards to YouTube. I think I remember ages ago when we did mention how YouTube is basically pouring money into the African scene and you know, having a lot of plans for the creatives here, which is really cool because we are creatives on this table, so this was personal for us. But hello, Aka.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello, guys.
How are
Welcome.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah, so Happy New Year.
Yeah, so
Same to you.
yeah, I mean, he was actually mentioning earlier before we brought him into the live show that he's actually in a set. So Aka is blessing us with his presence as he's currently hustling, doing his thing. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So some people might have no clue what we're talking about in regards to this YouTube, Black Voices, all of that stuff. So they only know YouTube and that it burns their data, and then there are some subscribers on there. But please tell us what this initiative is really about.
So thank you so much again, guys, for having me on your station, on your platform, Plus TV Africa. I started my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and what we do on my channel is tell events and make a commentary with the right perspective, basically, and talk about what's fun and what's popping on, in life, But last year was a very traumatic year for everybody. It was a crazy year. And one of the several movements sprang up in several places in the world. And one of the movements was Black Lives Matter. And I guess since Black Lives Matter, a lot of companies, a lot of institutions, a lot of platforms decided that they were going to do what they could to support Black people. Put your money where your mouth is, basically. And so YouTube was one of them. And YouTube said, you know what, we're going to use what we have, money, human resource, whatever it is, to support Black people, Black creators, and give them equal opportunity everywhere. So YouTube decided to set up the YouTube Black Voices Fund and also select 132 YouTube creators all over the globe. So only 132 Black creators were selected for the first 2021 YouTube Black Voices set or category. So that's what it is about now. So what they're doing is to give support, human and monetary resources to 132 Black YouTube creators.
Aka, that is a huge deal. It's a huge deal because YouTube is very competitive. It's a saturated place, and that the fact that you got chosen. So I like your humble brag and all of that, but like, please tell me in details, being genuine now, how that's like for you to be part of the people that were selected. It's not beans. Come on.
No, I'm telling you, man, it was the email, accept the call, and I waited for 2 days or so and then got the call. I was on a call with the YouTube execs in Paris and London. And I was just listening to them. I was just like, what are these people saying? You've watched my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm doing.
Really?
Are you serious? So I literally, and when they told me I was a recipient, they had to tell me again because I was numb. Like I was just looking at them like, I don't think I get it right. It's like,
all right, I know.
It was just surreal for me.
I know. Aside the selection, it also comes with some funding and grants and all of that. What do you intend to do differently now that you have this type of audience and this type of opportunity to actually do something different?
I do think that a recognition, being a recipient of the YouTube Black Voices Fund, and also being inaugurated as the first, as being part of the first set, the class of 2021, is a huge honor, and I'm humbled by it. But I also have to step up, to whom much is given, much is expected. So this is the time for me to step up my content team. So basically, guys, I got 2 editors. I got a writer.
Okay.
YouTube just gave us the opportunity to say, you know what, you can step up. I do feel like I have to be very restricted with the kind of quote-unquote help that I get. Of course, people can point me, even on YouTube. Like, YouTube is quite an inclusive space. Oh, guys, if you want me to talk about something or check on something, tell me in the comments, yeah. But, the truth is not everybody has or knows the vision and the perspective in which, we curate content and also, establish news, talk about commentary or pop culture or whatever it is, Akabant is very commentary central, but also fun, laugh. People always come to my channel because they're just like, if you want somebody to gist with that way, but also I want it to be very informative. I don't want people to just come on my channel and leave not knowing better. So, because I do have a mission to help emancipate the minds of Nigerians and also Black people all over the globe. So that's what my YouTube is there for, YouTube channel, has a vision for. Yeah, so I'm excited to work with my writers and my research team because I used to do that by myself. In fact, I started out YouTube not researching or writing, and then decided that, I want to step up my game, but I was doing that all by myself and it was quite draining. So now, thank God that with a little bit of funding, I can also put money in people's hand, but also release some of that stress.
Do you want to tell us how much you got? Exactly how much you were.
Tell us now.
No, this is tea time with Beauty. How much did you get?
I knew you were going to ask it. I knew you were going to ask it.
Tell us.
If you don't, somebody else will tell us.
Okay, tell us how much.
Just know that it's thousands
of dollars.
Just know that it's not one, it's not two, it's thousands of dollars.
That S is from 10. That one is not 9.
I also write too, and I edit.
Tell you what. Okay.
And I research.
Okay, stepping away from YouTube for a while, I noticed we're part of the cast of Funke Akedele's movie Omogeto Saga. So I really want to ask, how was that like working with Funke Akindele? And your character, Mario, it was quite unique and different. So how was it, like, could you relate to it, or you like found a problem adjusting to the character?
I did. First of all, I got to give big props to Funke Akindele. Can you hear me? Oh yeah. So I have to give big props to her first, because I've worked with Funke Akindele over the years on a couple of projects. I've been on Jennifer's Diaries. I've been on her show. The other one. Oh, I've forgotten the name. But yeah, Industry. I was on Industry, and you know what? Funke Akindele has always felt like if there's any hard character for somebody to crack, if there's a hard case or character for somebody, she's always like, call Aka. That's like one of her go-to actors, and I just feel like it's because she believes in me. And so when I got this script and she told me, Aka, you're going to be playing Mario, I was like, because I knew it was going to be it was hard. It was going to be hard to crack. I mean, and I don't just want to play a role in a way that will make people feel like, oh, I created a caricature. But I wanted people to feel like it was real, like it was me. So it took me time. It did take a lot of time, a little bit of time, basically, and work, effort, and also listening to direction, especially from Funke Akindele, on how to get that character, get Mario into my system. But people don't understand that, man. I was Mario for a bit. It was crazy. It was deep. It was deep.
Alrighty. Okay, let's bring it back to YouTube, because there's still a lot of discussions around that we have not touched yet. Of the various components of the grants, that's seed funding invested into the development of your channels, participation in training and network programs focused on production, fan engagement, and even well-being. So people are chopping life, basically. What do you feel is the most beneficial to your YouTube journey? Like, what of all of them, on top of all the dollars that they're giving you, what is that crucial thing that you feel like this is what I need?
Money.
I think for me, what's actually, money is very, very, very beneficial.
Of course.
But I think what's also as equally beneficial is, like I said, the human resource that has been granted us, that has been given to us. We have access to YouTube mentors, and not just mentors, but also staff, YouTube staff who are working with us directly from headquarters, from head office, and they're teaching us skills. They're also educating us on analytics, search engine optimization, helping us look at data from behind on what to do and how to get better, and what's working, what's not working, answering questions and giving insights, and also helping you maybe basically learn, unlearn, relearn, checking out new trends, or all of that. It's just been amazing. I mean, I have like a top executive YouTube staff on my WhatsApp.
Okay, I just feel like you're just showing off. I feel like
hey, Haga, what's up?
Now you're just showing off. Now you're just rubbing it in. You're peppering us. I don't like this. Okay, but I want to ask you one question though. Like, all these things that you're saying, and I think also because I was in that YouTube space, and I know how sometimes you can feel like, see, nobody cares what you're doing, nobody is seeing it, the numbers are not moving, and all of that. So this is for people
it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know you know what I'm talking about. So this is for people that were not selected and have worked hard. Or the people that, and also for the people who just joined YouTube, where they feel like where you are is like a lifetime away. Are you going to encourage those people to keep on going? Do you think now that there is a legit more reason why they should continue their hustle? Or do you think it's not something that isn't, that's something that actually has a lot of ground for progress, and they should just probably start adding more side hustles? What do you think about that?
Really good question. I always tell people, over the last couple of years or couple of months, the world is thirsty and ready for new things, for new narratives, for new stories. If there's anything that Black Panther showed us, It's that the world is thirsty and hungry for African real narratives.
Right.
And I mean, you guys, I don't think anybody, I think 1 out of 10 people in the world will know Emanuela.
Yeah.
You know, with, you know, their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They are one of the most populous YouTube channels in Africa right now. Mark Angel is a huge success.
Right.
Mark Angel has given Emanuela such, like, you know, light, and it's just because they didn't give up. They started out being authentic, telling real African stories, and the world is drinking it. I think the world knows Mark Angel more than Nigerians know Mark Angel. But you know, I just want to let them know that people, young YouTubers out there or old YouTubers, whatever, you know, because it's not by when you started or anything.
Absolutely not.
We just need to keep pushing and not give up, you know, because the truth is the world is ready for us, and we just need to come right, come ready, and come prepared, you know.
All right, so for me, I would like to ask you, because if there's anything 2020 taught us, is that we should make use of social media, the internet, because that is where a lot of people ran back to during the pandemic and even up to now. And then content creation is something that is growing the what's it called now, industry right now, especially when it comes to creating content, putting content on social media and all that. What would be your advice to all the people that are just lost, you know, those guys that are actually funny that amongst their friends, but they don't know how to put things together? What would be your advice to them?
You know, the truth is, I always tell people with this question, you know, who come to me and say, how? And I always tell them the answer is just start. Just start. I remember when I started my YouTube channel, I had just my laptop. I think it was a 2007 MacBook. And I used, you know, touchlights, those white touchlights that they sell on the road. That was what I used for lighting, because I didn't even know that natural light was the best source of light for creating videos. It was my YouTube, you know, first set of YouTube watchers who said, Aka, use natural light. What's wrong with you? Is it that you don't know this? You know? And of course, that time, this was 2004. Nobody knew me then. 2005, sorry. But, you know, I just started. And of course, it came with all the ups and downs, but it came with all the hustles. But the truth is that it came with me learning and growing. And I wouldn't have, you know, known as much as I know now. I wouldn't have been here today if I didn't start. I would always have kept on, you know, waiting for the right time. But you have to learn on the job. I know YouTube is something you have to learn on the job. Right. That's the system. That's the part you got to learn. You know, before you come as a broadcaster, you've proven yourself.
Hey, Just when I was about to ask him like hot questions, we've lost him, but
it's all right. I think we've gained enough.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he was able to answer, you know, all the questions on point, you know.
Okay, I think we have him back. Please, Aka, please tell me you are there. Hey.
Welcome
You're
back.
giving me a heart palpitation. I don't like this. So
I'm here.
You are stressing my heart. But
sorry
okay, so
about
we
that.
actually don't even have a lot of time. But I think you've talked a lot about you know, the YouTube space and all of that. And I think in summary for everyone who's watching, it looks like YouTube is a platform that encourages consistency and it rewards the hard work, and you're a testimony to that. But before we let you go, this is still Tea Time on an entertainment analysis show, and we like gist. So what we do on the table sometimes is also discuss other people's story, just like you, actually. So we have a hot topic on the seat right now. We have a hot topic on the seat right now. Peter Okoye mentioned in a statement that money defines a man's presence in the home. So basically, he ranted. He said that money is what defines a man's presence. Taking to his Instagram story, he even put that people appreciate men's work who work hard to provide for their families. He also added that a man cannot provide money for his family and is bound to have a home where peace is absent. In his words now, a man's presence is in the house without money is absent, while a man's absence at home with money is presence. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So, dear God, give our men the willpower and grace to
yeah.
pursue a career or trade for the peace and love, unity for his family. What is your take? I know that you're now 3 in your home and you're like the freshest new dad, the new zaddy. So, what does this hot topic mean to you?
Man, to be honest, I mean, I respect Peter, but I do not subscribe to that, train of thought.
You need a
that
drummer for
philosophy.
that. Hey.
I do not believe that. I do not believe that, a man's job is to bring money to the home.
Thank you.
I do not believe that it is a man's job to be the only one to bring money to home. But I also do not believe that, a man's worth is tied solely to the money he brings to the home. I do believe that as emancipated people now, and men who are trying to change culture, and who are trying to raise better families, and who are trying to shield our children from the pain of absentee fathers, and even present fathers who were there but were not emotionally there. The hurt and the rejection of that on kids it multiplies into different things in their lives in the future. So I do believe that a man's job is to be loving, to be present, to be emotionally there, available, to protect his wife and children. So when we say a man's job is to protect his wife and family or children, it's not just to protect from armed robbers that are never going to be there to shoot at you, or from car accidents. You are not Voltron. But you are meant to protect them from stress. You're meant to protect them from, the negative perspectives of the world that may set them astray. You're there to provide love and support for your wife. So I do believe that a man bringing money, great, but also you're also there to be to show your children examples of a father who cares for his family by having domestic responsibilities at home, but also being there emotionally for your wife, because your wife needs somebody to talk to at night. Your wife needs somebody to say you're doing well. Your wife needs somebody to say, I think I'll support you with this, with what you want to do. You're meant to be there to support your wife in whatever dreams she wants to achieve. So that's what a man is there for. Love, structure to instruct kids and instruct them and teach them the right ways and the right things to do. It's not just all about money. So fathers are meant to be very, very much present as mothers are.
I guess it's very fair to say that you are quite prepared for your new role, sir, because that answer was very spot on.
I was going to say what you said.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say what you said. So it's okay.
I think from the table we have to say a big congratulations to you. We've said it on your comment section already, but more personal congratulations to you and your beautiful family. I mean, with that mindset, I am a lot more at peace that they have a good man to guide and protect, like you've just mentioned. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for giving us a lot of your time today. You made this show.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak through you.
Alrighty, that was quite full.
Yeah.
I think we learned a lot. If I hope you're taking notes. Because
Oh yeah. No, but I told you I spoke through.
Yes,
I ministered to it. So yes.
I mean, I think we'll have done a good job as well, even if we didn't have accommodation in regards to that
But I think
topic.
you said it all.
Yeah, I think I don't think anyone on the table have agreed that just money is enough to make a man.
But also
present.
still
Absolutely. Is the guy not hustling right now? Talking to us from a movie set. So, but he still has
don't
to
go and
go
be
home.
saying it that okay
Because
because tea
Aka
time
said
like
it, that
Aka
just
said let me
relax.
just stay at home and just
I
do
know
it.
our viewers know how to balance out that advice.
Yes,
Okay.
also
Anyway, that is a wrap on today's episode. We did give a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thank you so much. You can join the conversation on social media with the hashtag #TeaTime or tweet at us at +TV Africa. Remember that you can catch up on any of the bits of today's episodes, the full episode, and all of our exclusive content by subscribing to our YouTube channel at +TV Africa. You can also watch Tea Time on Arte TV, and in London, yes, we've traveled. And on Ben Television, a big thank you go out to my co-anchors, Ifeolu Oshike and Eniola for keeping it jiggy.
Yes, we traveled. If you see me on the street of Yaba, we are both in London
Don't ask
together.
questions, please.
We're in London together.
Entire production team, thank you. Thank you for watching. My name is Ife Omai. I will see you guys Monday.
Hesse Designs is a fashion accessory label that specializes in the design and creation of handcrafted bags and footwear. I knew I was going to do something in fashion. I didn't know what exactly it was going to be, but I knew I would be in fashion. If it's to be the cleaner in fashion, whatever, but I have to be in fashion. When we started off with just strictly bag making. But then you get people say, oh, can I get a matching shoe? And then over time, people say, oh, I would like to give my boyfriend a wallet, but I want it with Ankara or something. So over time, we had to listen to our customers and infuse their ideas into our brand. Okay, we wanted something with the African touch, with the Nigerian feel. We make leather bags. But if I'm making a leather bag and I put it in a store, if you don't know Hesse Designs is Nigerian, you probably think it's a foreign bag. So what's the point of promoting something that is not, if you look at, you can't link it to Africa, you can't link it to Nigeria. Wanted something to promote Africa, wanted something to promote Nigeria. We also want to empower our artisans here. So that's why we keep our content local, raw materials local, production local. We still get a lot of people from around the world ordering from our website. So I believe it's because of what we've built, the brand we've built over time that still speaks for us. In the last 3 years, we've done over 10,000 items. We've sold over 10,000 items to both corporate clients, retail clients, and wholesale clients.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Plus Reports, a compilation of some reports and events that made the news recently. I'm Jacinta Obiuku. On this edition, we've got a series of reports on COVID-19 in an attempt to keep raising the awareness that the virus is real. In recent times, several clubs and event centers in Lagos have been shut down by security operatives for disobeying the 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. curfew. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Adebanke Odunuyi in this report tried to look at the implication of the law enforcement agents' action to seek answer if this approach will increase compliance across board.
Although some social event centers have been previously closed, others continue to contravene not only the directives but also the 12 midnight curfew. And in response, security operatives clamped down on the fun seekers. In a video circulated during the weekend, police operatives were seen invading a club, arresting the inhabitants. But not that alone, they were also seen bullying the offenders while ignoring the COVID-19 protocols. Reacting to this move, social commentators say that citizens should adhere to the directives of the government.
They say don't move between 12 midnight and 4 a.m. I presume maybe COVID is out at that time, on a lighter note. But for whatever reason, comply.
The word invasion is not fair. What I think is the actions of the Nigerian police in arresting violators of the order of the government vis-a-vis COVID-19, as it has to do with the public safety and public health, as it were, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world, is in the right direction. Of course, duty calls for the government to live up to responsibility at this point in time.
As at the time of the filing of this report, There has been over 100,000 COVID-19 cases and over 1,000 plus have died of the virus. However, many still doubt the potency of the disease and therefore do not adhere to the guidelines. The government is advised on how to adequately pass information to its citizens on the virus.
You engage more, communicate more. You know, get volunteers, people who will volunteer to assist, even in testing, in passing this information. Create a buffer for people who will not be able to go to work, or those that you have asked not to work. Create a buffer for them. Be genuinely interested in their welfare.
Engage stakeholders, our pastors, our imams, our religious leaders. They need to get involved. We should take sensitization to the grassroots. We should be hearing advertisement in Hausa, in Igbo, in Yoruba, in Bekwara, in Isekiri, and in our local dialects.
I will de-emphasize the scaremongering and therefore re-emphasize the need for us to be properly educated and then articulate the message of making sure that each citizen has what it takes to be a messenger of, curbing the rampaging effect of COVID-19.
The virus is one that is sweeping through the country without regard for gender, age, or class. Everyone needs to protect themselves.
Despite the ravaging heat of COVID-19, some Lagos residents using the public buses surprisingly still believe the virus does not exist. Take a listen.
It is almost a year since the first case of coronavirus was recorded in Nigeria. The novel virus has caused an economic crisis across different countries, which led to many deaths. But with all those bitter experiences, it's a hard pill to swallow, seeing that some of the preventive directives by the government is being violated. From no hand-washing facilities in view to no wearing of face mask, and when they do, it's not properly worn. Also, no physical distancing in public buses, as most of those bus drivers have gone back to status quo. Worst still, a cross-section of Lagos residents care less.
I don't believe there's coronavirus because I've not seen anybody having that virus. I'm only hearing for years.
Nigeria don't get COVID-19. We don't get COVID-19 and we are hungry. You know, it's called hungry. Hungry did this country well.
On the contrary, some believe the virus is real, but this is the situation they find themselves.
Since morning, I've been putting on these face masks. Even I'm feeling somehow, but I did not remove it. It's in my mouth until I get home.
It's bad because the level at which coronavirus is and the spread is really bad. Everybody is supposed to wear his face masks and carry it along so that we cut the spread of coronavirus in our own country.
In a vehicle where people don't wear face masks, like I do, you just ask him and I have to bring it down. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Even if you're coughing or not coughing or whatsoever, we cannot see this virus they're talking about. So if you assume because you're not wearing a mask and another person is wearing a mask, nothing happened, I think we're deceiving ourselves.
Not putting on a mask is kind of endangering your life to me.
Some of the drivers shared their challenges in trying to tell their passengers to wear their mask.
If we inform them that this thing is affecting us, but instead it's not real. They are just using it to collect our money.
Sometimes when we tell them to wear their face mask, some people will feel angry that what is the COVID-19 all about?
Quite sad, and a thing of concern, as this could suggest either some people are carried away with their daily activities or some are yet to understand the gravity of the virus. Regrettably, the marketplaces are not exceptional in flouting these protocols, as cross-section of traders who spoke to Mary Chinda went about their businesses with reckless abandon. Here is her findings.
A typical afternoon in Lagos market. The entry here shows no sign to remind people of the need to stop the spread of the dreaded COVID-19 disease. If the NCDC statistics is anything to go by, there are officially over 100,000 cases now in the country, with at least a current trend of over 1,000 cases of COVID-19 daily. Scary statistics, you would say. Surprisingly, Plus TV Africa crew moved into this market, and the crew is greeted by traders who are rather nonchalant.
I've not seen anything, but we used to hear it that there is corona in other countries, and as in even in this Nigeria, some people still have it, but me, I've not seen a corona patient before.
Everything. We are African, we are protected by God. I know that Nigerian weather is too hot for the coronavirus.
Corona. So, ahụbe m onye oji but nna anụ na ndị mmadụ na-ebute dị ọrịa but ahụbe m onye bụ dị ọrịa.
Ironically, John Okorie sells face masks, but he is not wearing any.
Nose masks, and people are buying it because of the COVID-19 is serious. At least in a day, I sell more than 5 packs in a day.
He is not different from others who have their nose masks but won't wear them.
I remove the nose mask because of heat. Heat is too much. So I just remove it.
You should know that most Nigerians are not scared of coronavirus from time. Do you get? It does not mean that it's not existing, but we are not scared.
With the death toll of COVID-19 hitting over 1,350 persons, a small fraction of market people here attempt to take proactive steps to avoid the spread of the virus.
So when customers come in without nose covers, we advise them to get one. If they are not with one, we sell so they can buy before coming in.
Because Corona, we cover our mouth and we keep distance.
We're supposed to have a bowl outside with water or hand sanitizer. There's no provision for that.
It's almost the close of the market right here at Oniru Market in Victoria Island, Lagos. And it is what it is. Little or no social distancing rules respected here in this market. Mary Chinda is reporting for Plus TV Africa.
Well, what do you say? Really, my take here is that there is a glaring need for more awareness to be done by relevant agencies and even the media. Recently, there have been conversation around possible religious violence with warnings by the Department of State Services. Osaroge Ogbonwa in this next report takes a look at the implications of this warning.
The Department of State Security recently put out a warning to all Nigerians on plans by certain elements and external forces to incite religious violence in states across Nigeria. The information has gathered and generated a lot of conversations across the country about the safety of Nigerian lives and property, and also the idea of Nigeria 60 years after independence still having tense religious divisions that can be so easily exploited.
These fault lines that we have, ethnic, religious, ethno-religious sentiments, are major weapons in the hands of the ruling class, who, having run out of ideas about how to get to power, how to consolidate power, now have gone back to the old age primordial, parochial sentiment of using base issues such as religion, ethnicity, geopolitics.
I would like to appreciate the DSS for what they've done so far. The people may disagree, but I think they've done their job, which is to alert and inform the populace, the citizens, about what they've picked up from the intelligence community.
All the questions that have been raised are about the responsibility of Nigeria's intelligence and security agencies to quell such attacks with the resources available in information and intelligence gathering.
Intelligence management business all over the world is not like 1 + 1 = 2. No. Depends on what do you want to achieve at a particular point in time. Now, we don't know the preponderance of intelligence that the DSS are having. And the course of action that they will take is based on what the amount of intelligence that they have, what would be the best action, course of action.
Also, what is the role of religious leaders at a time like this?
What we will do as a church is to be calm, be watchful, be prayerful, but at the same time, we must never, ever, as against our scriptures, to go on rampage, to go on revenge, for vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
As we take steps further into the year 2021, Nigerians can only hope for a more peaceful nation. Osaogie Ogbonwa reporting for Plus TV Africa News.
Plus Report returns after this break. Thanks for staying with us. Concerns have continued to grow following the federal government's decision to exempt payment of tax from low-end employees and other provisions in the recently assented 2020 Finance Bill. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Destiny Momo seeks to clarify these legislations as it affects ordinary Nigerians.
Nigerian tax laws have become obsolete with the issue of multiplicity of taxes, administrative inefficiencies, among others. The tax to GDP ratio is 6%, about the lowest among African countries. Using the year 2019, it was shown that the issues, among others, resulted in budget deficits and unsustainable debts. Hence, the new Finance Act 2020, which expert believes will address some of these problems.
What the current Finance Act 2020 signed on the 31st of December into law has done is to build on that tradition, and the plan is to do this on an annual basis. So this law has over 80 different amendments, amending about 14 different laws, mostly tax laws, but also some regulatory and compliance laws.
The major reason for this is lack of trust in government and tax officials, dissatisfaction with public services, and a complex of corrupt tax collection process. Most people will be willing to pay their taxes if there is security and assurance of improved services. But are Nigerians aware of these new tax laws?
The other areas where people agree on, reduction to exemption of people who earn minimum wage, 30,000 or less, from personal income tax, they have been exempted.
I'm not aware, because nobody tell me. I'm not aware at all.
I'm not aware that there are some money that we're not supposed to pay. But the bank, they charge us so much. You understand? Before you know, you wake up, 15 naira, because that's when they know. At the end of the month, your money is short.
I'm just hearing for the first time.
Okay.
That's good.
Several documents that they are bringing to us is not even written in the name of state and different states.
Addressing the grey areas on why this very important information is not made open to most Nigerians, Taiwo Oyedele explains further.
Another area is the reduction of import duties on vehicles. So import duties on vehicles, tractors, cars, and mass transit buses have been reduced. I don't think tax matters are of interest to a lot of Nigerians. Because in fairness to government, so even before the bill was submitted to the National Assembly, they had stakeholder engagement. And then it got to the National Assembly and they published in all the newspapers. They had public hearing. One they had at the Senate, another one they had at the House of Representatives.
He says the Finance Act can be changed yearly to meet with the demands of stakeholders and Nigerians at large. Destiny Momo for Plus TV Africa.
Well, situations like this may demand educating people more to carry everyone along. Still on the signed Finance Act, it have been a mixed reactions among some Nigerians and experts in this next report.
As stated under Part 12 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the signed Finance Act 2020 by President Muhammadu Buhari, expert says it's a new initiative even in a civilized country, as this might be of goodwill but with a bad side to it.
We talk about the modern economy. It's new. It's a desperate action or intention by the government. It might have its own positive, which is from the point of view of the government in terms of making funds available for immediate need and all that. But however, I think the negatives outweigh the positive.
Plus TV Africa spoke to some Nigerians to feel their pulse on the new development.
This government has borrowed a lot of money, locally and internationally. Who is going to pay this money? Is it them or our generation who will pay this money? For me, it's not fair.
You will see that a lot of flood will happen for people that just maybe a period of 3 years, you don't touch your account. All those banking people, they will start to tamper with people's account.
They should take it since it's not that useful. Many people say have even forgotten their account details. So I think then to just dash the bank like that, I think they don't use it for something very important. Why not? They should take it.
Though the government claims the objective is for the collective good, there is, however, a trust deficit.
If you look at what is happening in the economy generally, the people seem not to trust the government. So if government takes this money, who is going to vouch that government will meet their own obligation in terms of the tenants of the loan? So there's a huge, in fact, let me be honest with you, majority of business people actually operate as if we no longer have government in place, and that is the truth. And that is why people are skeptical that it might not be too positive as such, even when it has an element of positivity.
However, it was reported that official bank accounts owned by the federal government, state government, local governments, or any of their ministries, departments, or agencies are specifically exempted by the Act. Away from Finance Act 2020 to the fresh crisis and the Igbo socio-cultural group Ohaneze Ndigbo as another function disowned the emergence of the celebrated diplomat, Professor George Obiozor. Aneta Felix tells us more.
The election of Professor George Obiozor as President General of the Ohaneze Ndigbo called for a huge celebration at the Dan Anyam Stadium in Owerri, Imo State. But like a reenactment of the events of 2017, a controversy in the leadership of the group has begun. The election of the 9th president was contested by a factional group who insisted that it was illegal and influenced by governors of southeast states. 4 years later, the election of Professor George Obiozor on Sunday, January 10, 2021, is again in contention by yet another faction. A day before the election on Saturday, January 9, 2021, the faction held a virtual election in Enugu State. Chairman of the Electoral Committee, Richard Ozubu, then announced former Imo State Commissioner for Information, Youth and Sports, Chidi Ibe, as President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo. As Uche Okuku, former Secretary General Ohaneze Ndigbo, explains.
The purported election
that took place on the 10th of January 2021 at the Owerri Stadium is illegal, is unconstitutional. The reason being that the purported electoral committee that was set up in the Imobi of Ohanese was set up by an Imobi that was not a product of law. Imobi is a body, one of the organs of Ohanese.
Besides an argument against Obiozo's election process, factions also point out the congratulatory messages sent to him by President Muhammadu Buhari as an indication of his disloyalty to the people. But political analyst Chris Nwakobia dispels it as false.
Every Igbo man is proudly Igbo. But what is important here is the fact that what affects the Igbo in Nigeria affects all of us, and that is why maybe the president hastened to congratulate him. I think that those who are beginning to raise issues about conspiracy should stay off it and allow him function.
Both Okuku and Nwakobia say they have hopes that the crisis in the group can be resolved either through diplomacy or the rule of law. George Obiozo now seems to have a lot to chew to ensure unity and cohesion among the Southeast region. Annetta Felix, Plus TV Africa.
Quite disturbing development when everyone should be preaching unity and oneness among Ndibos. Now, on the announced resumption date for all public schools in Lagos, a training that has over 300 head teachers and over 150 support staff in Lagos State has been conducted by Universal Basic Education Commission, UPEC, in partnership with the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB, to build capacity of Nigerian teachers nationwide. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Adebanke Odunuyi has more on this.
The training, which was organized by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, was organized to teach leadership skills to personnel of educational institutions.
The head teachers, school managers will be able to take control of their school. That is what this is all about. And this is in line with Mr. Governor's determination to ensure that we continue to empower our teachers.
This is not about teaching and learning or other component, but focused on teacher professional development, in particular when it comes to school leadership and providing support for classroom managers. So the training that is ongoing now, first is a training for about 350 head teachers out of our 1,016 head teachers. In addition to that, at other locations, we're also running trainings for school support officers.
The training becomes imperative because of the pandemic.
We introduce buckets into all the schools. We ensure that waters are running in schools. We give them sanitizers. We give them soap to wash their hands and for the sanitizers for the pupils and all of that. The board is also doing its best to ensure that we go back into classroom prepared.
Participants expressed appreciation for the training while stating that it would be useful in their institutions and line of work.
Because at the seminar, we've been able to trash issues concerning the school and community relationship. And by the time we resume into schools now, we are sure the community and school relationship will be well fostered.
With the training of we started since yesterday, I believe that when I go back, at least the interpersonal relationship will be more strengthened.
The Education Board reiterated that the Lagos State government is committed to providing quality education. Reporting for Plus TV Africa, Adebanke Odunuyi.
Well, quite commendable one that will foster a good start of academic section. And as a wrap on Plus Reports, let's remind you to follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. I'm Jacinta Obiugu. Thanks for watching.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I am angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit the offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya. Which America?
As it then do mark our place, some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, they go beat you. Now 2,500 and they pay.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand.
Thank you for joining us on Plus TV Africa News. I am Osaogi Ogbonwa. A new bill to increase the retirement age of teachers across the country was on Wednesday approved by the Federal Executive Council, and this has triggered reactions among some Nigerians. Jacinta Obiuku has more. All right, we of course will bring you that report in concluding news, or of course sometime during this news bulletin. Still on the news, Nigeria's Minister of Education Adamu Adamu says the number of out-of-school children has reduced from 10.1 million in 2019 to 6.95 million in 2020. He said this on Thursday in Abuja at the annual ministerial press briefing on the ministry's activities in 2020. Adamu said the reduction was through the federal government's Better Education Service Delivery for All initiative, BESDA, that's in operation in 17 states. He added that through BESDA, an additional 1,053,422 children have been enrolled in schools in Nigeria. On Plus TV Africa's flagship program, educationist Biodun Kolawole urges the government to do more to increase Nigeria's literacy figures.
I think we should criminalize everybody that is not sending their child to school. We need to admit that it's a criminal offense. And why is it a criminal offense? Is that you are raising a risk on all of us if you do not empower your children. And in as much as possible, education is free and compulsory and is also qualitative. You will see that the parents will understand this is the benchmark of this society that I live, and I have to just ensure my child is true with that first phase.
And of course, welcome back. We, of course, will go back to the story of a new bill. Speaking of increasing the retirement age of teachers across the country, which was approved on Wednesday. This, of course, triggered reactions among some Nigerians. And now here is that report by Jacinta Obiku.
The bill seeks to increase the retirement age of teachers from 60 to 65 years and also increase the possible years of service from 35 to 40 years. If passed by the National Assembly, it will give legal backing to new measures by the Muhammadu Buhari's administration to enhance teaching in the country. While some opined that the bill will slim the employment opportunities, others argued it will allow the teachers to explore and impact their knowledge more.
It's unfair because these people, they are old already, and I don't see any reason why they should be keeping them longer than that period, actually.
I think they should stick to 60 years. I feel 60 years even too much. 55, you should just go and relax. Let the next generation, take over, give room for the next generation of teachers, lecturers, professors, I don't know.
A couple of guests on Plus TV Africa's Breakfast Show share their sentiments on the federal government's move.
I want to really hail Mr. President for this decision because I've come here and knocked the presidency, time and time again that they lack tact and strategy in the way they operate. But this is one policy that I will give my 100% nod to. If you look at me right now, I'm 3 years away from 60, and I think all my faculties are as sharp as can be. So somebody to tell me that as a teacher in 3 years I'll be retiring, I'll just be wondering why you would have wasted a major resource. So I think that a lot of teachers are not far from me at 60. They are still waxing strong.
It's an effort in the right direction. I salute it and I commend it. Okay. But I see it as ragtag, a kind of effort to mend something. It is not a policy that is wholesome, that is all-encompassing, that will once and for all, or to a very large extent, address the challenges of the teaching profession in Nigeria.
Apart from increasing the retirement age and years of service, the bill also seeks to introduce bursary award, special rural posting allowances, and other items that will encourage brilliant Nigerians to take to teaching. Jacinta Obiuku for Plus TV Africa. The bill.
Still in the news, the Imo State government said that properties belonging to Unsu Tiles company and also belonging to the government in Mbano have been found in a warehouse allegedly owned by former governor Rochas Okorocha along Aba Road in Owerri, North Local Government area of the state. The Imo State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Simon Ebebulem, told newsmen the discovery followed an alarm by Governor Hope Uzodimma over the equipment allegedly looted by the administration of the former governor. Equipment found in the warehouse include solar panels, traffic light accessories, molder for ceramic production, also allegedly stolen from Unsu Tiles.
These equipment were kept somewhere along Aba Road in a warehouse, and of course that's why we're here today. And I'm sure that some of you you guys must have seen the equipment. We have like the molds which is used to produce these ceramics, and of course the mixers. And from what we have seen here, it looks like they are planning, or they were planning to set up a factory, a ceramic factory here. In other words, to personalize it instead of something that belongs to government.
Meanwhile, the former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, on Thursday decried the allegation that missing equipment of Unsu ceramic and tiles industry were found in his warehouse. Okorocha challenged the state government to show proof of ownership of the equipment that were allegedly recovered in the said warehouse located along the Owerri-Aba Road in the state. The State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Simon Ebegbulemis, had said some patriotic citizens of the state revealed the location of the hidden warehouse stacked with various public-owned facilities. But Okorocha, who spoke through his media aide, Sam Onwumwedu, faulted the the commissioner's position that streetlight accessories and cartons of tiles were recovered from the said warehouse without disclosing how he arrived at the conclusion that those items were owned by the government. Still in the southeast, the traditional rulers of Aguleri and Umuleri, both in Anambra East local government area in Anambra State, have called on all the indigents of both communities to embrace peace for progress. This followed a dispute reportedly which began when an Aguleri family attempted to lay foundation on a land claimed by another family in Umuleri that led to the destruction of the foundation. The traditional leaders of Umuleri and Aguleri expressed disappointment at the continuous reoccurrence of the communal clashes which had limited the growth of the two communities over the years. They called on the youths to sheath their swords for peace so as to usher in development in the community.
Were living here before. They all left the entire Utuacha zone and traveled back to their communities. Now, 22 years after, or 23 years after, we are trying to fight again. For what? For what? So I want to call on the people of Umueri and the people of Aguleri, mostly the youths.
Still in the news, a Nigerian court threw out 2 blasphemy convictions on Thursday that had caused an international outcry, freeing a teenager from a 10-year prison sentence and ordering a new trial for a man sentenced to death. The two had been convicted in August by a Sharia court in Nigeria's northern, mainly Muslim state of Kano. Teenager Umar Farouk was accused of making blasphemous comments during an argument, while Yahya Aminu Sharif was accused of having shared a blasphemous message on WhatsApp. Appeal judges at the secular branch of the State High Court ruled that Farouk should be acquitted because he was a minor who had had adequate legal representation. They said he was 17 at the time of his sentencing and not 13 as stated in previous hearings.
One was a complete victory. The second was a technical victory, in that the young man will not be killed and will have a fair day in court. We'll go back to study our books and we'll back again. And we'll give it all that it deserves.
Da wannan shari'a da aka zartar na wayannan mutane wanda suka yi batanci da manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wannan hukunci yayi daidai kwarai da gaske, kuma hakan da aka yi.
Whoever against prophet, already the judgment is there. It has been written. What the judgment that we will face. But it's not a new thing.
And the new president of the United States, Joe Biden, has cancelled the travel ban on Nigeria and other countries. Last year, former U.S. President Donald Trump had expanded curbs on immigration to include 6 more countries, including Nigeria. At the time, the U.S. government said the policy was designed to tighten security for countries that don't comply with the U.S. minimum security standards or cooperate to prevent illegal immigration. In an exclusive interview with Plus TV Africa, political affairs analyst Femi Lawson commended Joe Biden for the move while urging the Nigerian government to address the brain drain in the country. Now for some COVID-19 updates. The second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic worsened in Nigeria on Thursday as the nation reported a record number of new infections in one day. In a late-night tweet, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control said 1,964 new cases and 7 deaths had been recorded across the country within 24 hours. This brings the total number of recorded cases to 116,655, with 93,646 discharged cases and a total death toll of 1,485. Lagos, the epicenter of the pandemic in Nigeria, reported 824 new cases, while the FCT posted 246 infections. Other regions with new cases include Plateau State with 166, Kaduna 128, Ogun State with 76, Nasarawa 74 new cases, Anambra 69, Edo 50, Rivers 45, Ondo 44, Niger State with 40 cases, Oyo with 38 new cases, Adamawa 35 new infections, Kano 31. Also, Akwa Ibom was with 27 new cases, Gombe 19, Kwara 13, Ekiti 12, Delta and Kebbi State both with 6 cases each, Bauchi with 5, Ebonyi 4 cases, Oshun 3 cases, and Zamfara with 1 new case. And the federal government has approved 6.45 billion naira for the setting up of gas plants in 38 locations nationwide in a bid to enhance the treatment of COVID-19 patients who need oxygen. This was one of the decisions at the first National Economic Council meeting of the year, presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, with state governors, Federal Capital Territory Minister, Central Bank Governor, and other senior government officials in attendance. While briefing the NEC on the release of the funds, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the President approved the release of the funds for the production of oxygen necessitated by the increased number of patients due to the surge in COVID-19 infections in the country. Similarly, at the meeting, the Health Minister, Dr. Osagie Hanire, informed the Council that further to President Buhari's decision to activate the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund based on the National Health Act, 55.1 billion naira was approved in 2018, and that 50% of the sum had since been released to the states and the FCT. Now for news reports in other parts of Africa, the Royal Africa Young Leadership Forum has condemned the election victory of Uganda's President-elect Yoweri Museveni and asked the African Union and other international organizations not to recognize his election victory as the process was not transparent. The, group's Africa Managing Director, Bello Shagari, says the continuous silence of the African Union and international organizations on what he called intimidation and harassment of the opposition candidates undermines the principle of democracy in Africa.
Have taken a stand to draw the attention to the gimmick passing for democracy in Uganda, and called on all state actors and international organizations to deny General Museveni the recognition and legitimacy he craves to take Uganda for another long ride through separations of rights and clampdowns on dissident citizens and organizations.
Still in the news, the World Health Organization says Africa has recorded nearly 82,000 deaths due to the second wave of the coronavirus. This figure is higher than when the first wave of the virus hit the continent in 2020. According to the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the continent has recorded around 3.3 million COVID-19 cases. WHO Africa Director Matshidiso Moeti, however, says that the WHO COVAX program aims to deliver 600 million doses of the vaccine to the African continent by the end of 2021.
Africa is facing a second wave in the COVID-19 pandemic with more than 3.3 million cases and 81,000 lives sadly lost. So the first epidemic peak in July was surpassed in December, and cases are continuing to accelerate at a significantly faster pace. I think we have a combination of factors, possibly fatigue with the measures, and then of course the festive season with its travel and gathering. Initial 30 million doses are expected, and I say this with some caveats, to start arriving in countries by March. These are intended to prioritize healthcare workers and other high priority groups, and then expanding to cover additional vulnerable groups.
And now outside Africa, Republicans in the United States are asking Democrats to delay the start of the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump until February. They argue this will give the former president time to prepare a defense. Trump is accused of inciting insurrection after his supporters stormed the Capitol on Wednesday, January 6th. The then president told protesters near the White House to peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard as they prepared to march towards the U.S. Capitol building. He also told them to fight like hell. Trump flew to Florida as his term ended on Wednesday, skipping his successor Joe Biden's inauguration on the 20th of January. And workers trapped in a gold mine in China since January 10th may have to wait another 15 days before they can be rescued. And that's because of a blockage on their intended escape route. A total of 22 workers were trapped underground after an explosion at the Hushan mine in Qixai, a major gold-producing region in Shandong province. One is confirmed to have died, while 11 are known to be alive. The remaining 10 are missing. Rescuers have drilled new shafts to reach 10 of the men in the mine, and they've been sent food and medical supplies. And Google has threatened to remove its search engine from Australia over the nation's attempt to make it share royalties with news publishers. Australia is introducing a world-first law to make Google, Facebook, and potentially other tech companies pay media outlets for their news content. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said lawmakers would not yield to threats, but at a Senate hearing on Friday, Google Australia Managing Director Mel Silver said the laws were unworkable and would give them no real choice but to stop making Google search available in Australia. And now in business news, the Kaduna State government has stated plans to empower about 240,000 youths and women through its agro-processing productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support appeals project of the state government. Chairman Steering Committee of the project, Hadiza Balarabe, announced this during the flag-off of the implementation support mission of the project in Kaduna State. Balarabe, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Agriculture, says the pre-support implementation is to review the beneficiaries of the project and address some challenges faced by farmers which need support.
We have overall target to reach 10,000 farmers in the state. We have carried out substantially all the processes or most of the processes that are required, maintaining register of farmers, conducting need assessment.
This project is looking at is food security to ensure that food security is achieved in Nigeria, to also ensure that we have nutrition-sensitive technologies. Then it is expected that every state takes one product to the international market, and that would help the nation to generate foreign exchange.
To the youth, I would specifically say that there are lots of opportunities in agriculture, and I encourage them to develop and build careers in agriculture. Farming is no more like our forefathers used to do it. Appeals is encouraging introduction of technology, things that make them easier, things that make the productivity better.
For the young people that are lucky to be part of this program, to be strengthened and take agriculture as a business, to leverage all the opportunities that they have, to take all the training, the acquired skills, to increase in their focus and determination to make the difference in the agricultural landscape of Nigeria.
From business, we move to entertainment news, where former British singer Adele and her ex-husband Simon Konecki have reached an agreement on their divorce settlement. The former couple filed the judgment packet with the courts in Los Angeles on Friday, but the document has not been entered or signed by a judge to officially dissolve their marriage. Adele's representatives confirmed on Friday that she has separated from her partner, but that they are committed to raising their 8-year-old son, Angelo, together lovingly. Adele first announced her separation from Konecki in April 2019 after 7 years together. Now in sports, Japan on Friday has denied reports that it will not host the Tokyo Olympics this year. A government spokesman said there was no truth to support in the Times that Japan was now focused on rescheduling the event to 2032. Though much of Japan is under a state of emergency due to a third wave of COVID-19 infections, Tokyo organizers have consistently vowed to press ahead with the Games. It is scheduled to open on July 23, 2021, after having been postponed in March last year. And that's the news at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories. I am Osao Ogbonwa, and thank you for watching.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Cross Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
First of all, symptoms of COVID-19 in children are very clear. You talk about fever. Most of the times it could be low-grade fever, oftentimes continuous high-grade fever that is not relapsing with your regular paracetamols and your tepid sponging. One of the other symptoms, aside the respiratory symptoms that you have to look out for, is the stooling and vomiting. It's been seen to have very strong effect on stooling and vomiting in recent times among children. And when you do a culture for that, you don't see anything. There are no bacterial infections associated with it. So then, of course, the baseline is your respiratory findings, which you can have the regular cough, nasal discharge a few times, but dry cough more often in children. You want to watch out for temperature changes. You want to watch out for, loss of appetite and some catarrh for a long time, what we know as nasal discharge. Then you have to teach and model hygiene. All right, a good hygiene practice, using the hand sanitizer, washing your hand regularly, in fact, should be the stated one. And in cases of no water, you can teach them for hand sanitizers, especially those more than 60% alcohol. And then they don't necessarily have to use the face mask often, but you must teach the intake of good, clean water. And then more importantly is diet. You know, you cannot just give any child any food now. You have to pay attention to vegetables, greens especially. You have to have a high protein diet and high calorie diet. For example, fat and oil is important for a child to improve their metabolic state, for protein to improve their growth rate, and more importantly, fruits to improve minerals and vitamins. And so you're not doing substitute of fruits, you're doing the real fruits, the vegetables, and things like pear, cashew nut, watermelon, cucumber. Very important for them right now. Pawpaw has been seen to be very effective, especially for vitamin E, and you know it contains the tocopherols, vitamin E and Co, which is very important for their immunity. So you're focusing on building their immunity, and you're focusing on them having a good diet. So a summary of what parents should do in preventing COVID-19 amongst your children is: 1, teaching and modeling good health or hygiene practices. You don't just teach it, let them watch you and let them be conversant with it. Secondly, you must monitor their health. Don't take anything for granted. Once you notice fever for more than 24 hours, you want to report to the hospital and be sure that that fever is not stepping its bound. The third and very important thing, you want to see that this child is eating appropriately, and appropriately not giving junks. You want to see that they're eating the right protein, high protein diet, a good calorie, which is fat and oil, and lastly, vegetables, of course, fruits and vegetables, so that they can build their immunity. Don't necessarily do fruit substitute. Some people want to do multivitamin. Those are placebos. They're good, but it cannot take the place of the right diet per time, greens and vegetables.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayua Mesale, and today we have a full house. We have Isi, Tammy, and Uti. Isi, how are you doing? I'm not fine, thank you. Okay. You're on your own. Let me go to my Zoom people. Hey, Uti. Hey, Lam, and Isi. Tammy. Oh my God, I have too many women. Uti and Tammy, how are you doing?
Hey, ladies.
Hi.
I'm very well. You guys look gorgeous.
And so do you. I want to go and take that jacket, right? I just want to collect it.
I always want the hair. I want the hair.
Uti, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. Hi, ladies. How's everyone doing?
We're good. We have an interesting conversation today. Yep. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, so here's what we found as today's quote. Would you like me to give you a formula for success? That's the question. It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failure. You're thinking of failure as the enemy of success, but it isn't at all. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. So go ahead and make mistakes. Make all the mistakes you can. Just remember that when you're doing that, you will find success. You see why you should not take too many long quotes. But it's good. We are also making the mistakes and learning. So that's the definition of success. Make the mistakes and learn through the process. Absolutely. So today we have a very, very fantastic conversation for everyone. We are hosting our CEO, our very first CEO for the year. Yes. So every month we get to sit with CEOs and captains of industries, learning from them on how they got to where they are. And Uzoma Dozie, a revolutionary and highly tech-driven leader, will be hosting him tonight, but we'll do that right after the break. Please stay with us.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
You're still watching Ways Now. Hugging, one of the simplest ways to show affection, is something that people do when their loved ones are around them and all of that. So, however, it's something that is not done, has not been done for how many years? A year plus now. So we want to wish everybody and send them air hugs.
Oh, yeah.
Because of COVID-19, we can't do hugging this
or
year.
Or elbow hugs.
There's no elbow hugs. Uti, what did you find for us in the news today? Uti, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So we are sending you air hugs. So what did you find for us in the news today?
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So, I mean, my story, as we're hosting our very first CEO, I thought I'd find something business related. So the headline says Nigeria's biggest bank picks 8 countries for expansion. Now, if you've been following any of the news in recent times around the Africa Continental Free Trade area and that whole arrangement that has launched, giving Africa the biggest, the biggest free trade area in the world. And literally, this is the bank now leveraging on that technology to essentially be able to expand the bank and expand their offerings. So they're immediately looking to go into 8 countries. And then following on from that, they will also be expanding into 22 more countries. So it's not really so much about the bank itself. It's really focusing on the opportunities that this free trade area basically allows us. So if you think about what has happened in the Eurozone and literally what that has done for smaller European countries and what it has done in terms of strengthening the European continent as a whole, this just shows how businesses can leverage on that trade agreement and this trade area to be able to grow their scope of business and really to expand. So I thought it was interesting, seeing as we're going to be talking to a CEO who was linked to said bank at some point.
Yeah, it was linked to the financial sector. All right, so Tammy, what did you find for us in the news?
Oh yeah, excellent story right there. With Brexit, we saw all the opportunities that small businesses have and all of that. So, I mean, we are discussing leadership today, right? So I thought this one was apt. So yesterday, following only a few hours in office, President Biden signed about 17 executive orders, in a move to strengthen immigration, end a travel ban, and essentially prioritize racial equity. I was up till about 1:30, 2 a.m. just watching this happen. And it was such a joy to behold. It was symbolic of new hope and true leadership. And it's something I believe holds, a huge lesson for leaders everywhere in the world, public sector, private sector, social sector, all over the world, that a good leader resumes office with a plan. So whether or not you agree with the fundamentals of his policy mindset or why he's doing what he's doing and all of that, my point is that he had a plan and he just got the ground rolling immediately. No blame shifting, no evasiveness, no rhetoric of blaming the previous administration or anything. I'm not even American, but I'm so proud. And I just wanted to bring this to the fore. What do you ladies think?
So I think you are not American. This is the same question everybody has been asking. Waiting concern Nigerians with
I think basically whatever happens in America affects the world.
You said what? What did Tammy say?
It's a fantastic example of what should be. You know,
I think what America has shown us. I think what America has shown us in this entire situation, whether you want to call it a catastrophe, whether you want to call it a triumph, depends on what side of the divide you're on. It has shown us the power of institutions, which is something we don't have in this country.
Absolutely.
Strong institutions.
Strong institutions are bigger than any person. If the president cannot circumvent institutions, Nigeria would be a completely different country.
Absolutely.
Issy, you're going to follow up on yesterday's story you took.
Still on leadership. And because of the type of leadership we have in the North, we are still complaining about the fact that Hilux was given to repentant bandits. So we have another story today which says that the gunmen in Hilux vehicle given to repentant bandits in Zamfara State killed a senior military officer. And this is so painful because that's somebody's father, that's somebody's uncle. And it's not even about the fact that this is somebody's uncle or husband. It's the fact that it was given to the, it was the Hilux that was given by the governor.
They used to barricade.
It's just so painful. You know, growing up, attending, you know, Air Force paramilitary school, you know, your airmen, your soldiers, very gallant, you know, what they bring to the table, the way they're dressed, the way they, you know, you see their parade.
Of the government.
In the process of struggling to find
He's and also tech focused. Quickly, Temi and Ugri. What's your word?
Well, I'm just gonna.
And in fact, nobody can avoid this question because that's the biggest elephant in the room. And you know, I think that a lot of people are not open to change. A lot of people they get glued to something and they are very comfortable. But you're not that kind of CEO because everybody on earth said, "What was he thinking?" Letting go of Diamond Bank and that.
We want to complement, take the best of retail and the best of corporate